At the recent Conservative Party conference, the word opportunity in big bold white letters sat in front of and behind the weakened Prime Minister. An opportunity for what? An opportunity to further diminish the NHS perhaps, or cut more essential local services? What is Theresa May trying to do now? She is attempting to appeal to British voters on the left who may not be the biggest fans of party leader Jeremy Corbyn. And yes, there are quite a lot of these people. How is she trying to appeal to them? By trying to put the Tories over as the party for everyone. She is a moderate. Jeremy Corbyn isn't. And she's also trying to appeal to the centre ground of politics, yeah. A cheap appeal to patriotism is thrown in as well. It's what you get with the Tories. She said, quote, recently, "I want voters who may previously have thought of themselves as Labour supporters to look at my government afresh. They will find a decent, moderate, and patriotic programme that is worthy of their support," unquote. Labour chairman Ian Lavery said this was evidence that the Tories are spooked by the prospect of Corbyn getting into number 10, which at this point stands as a statement of the obvious. A genuine democratic socialist as the head of government is a shit-your-pants prospect for many a Conservative, if you'll pardon my French. But clearly, our domestic politics is dominated by the elephant of our impending departure from the EU, and Theresa May's recent attempts to undermine the Labour leader and exploit divisions in the opposition party is aimed at getting Labour MPs to vote for her Chequers plan when it comes around in Parliament. This will, of course, have angered many hardline Eurosceptics in her own party, like the now prominent ERG faction. Both of the main British parties are divided. And although she tries to hide it behind well-rehearsed public appearances, Theresa May seems increasingly desperate to me. But let's be real. The reality of British politics is that the Conservative and Unionist Party are the party of the establishment. Big E establishment. They are the party of God Save the Queen, the party which crushed the trade unions and set the labour movement back in a ruthless and brutal fashion when I was a kid back in the 80s. When I see the likes of Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg speak, I don't see the voices of moderation. I don't see a party for everyone. I hear the smug and self-satisfied voices of privilege. I hear arrogance. Theresa May can try and sell the idea of a party of moderation to a younger generation, or perhaps more than a few older folks who might have become disillusioned with the left, but truth is, people are suffering right now under the weight of conservative austerity policies. This is people's lives being negatively affected. Men, women and children close to the edge of poverty or actually deep in it. Theresa May, David Davis, Liam Fox, Ian Duncan Smith, these people are not living close to the edge. They're not down at the wrong end of the income scale. And Jacob Rees-Mogg, he's a millionaire. And his lived experience is a million miles away from the vast majority of British people. For the floating voters, or the people who might describe themselves as being politically homeless, and who might be supporters of Brexit, but also might be left-leaning. Let me remind you that Theresa May backed Remain in the big referendum before selling herself as Mrs. Brexit. Disingenuous? What do you reckon? Then what did she do? She brought on a general election, thinking she was going to win big time, like Margaret Thatcher big time. A thumping parliamentary majority. That's what she was thinking. And she sold this as being in the British interest. What do you reckon? National interest or party and career-based bit of shameless opportunism? The party of privilege and privatisation is not the ally of the working man and the working woman. They will not work in your interests.